All right. Welcome back to another episode of Launching Us. This is a podcast where we talk about small business owners and the journey it takes to get there. This week we have a really cool guest, the owner of Hey Mikey's, which is probably, I'm going to go on record and say it's probably my favorite ice cream.
Hey.
Like, it's like Bluebell ice cream and then you guys.
All right. Well, I might have to leave.
And those are like, it's two different ice creams. I had to tell somebody that. I was like, they're not the same.
No.
Really
like
not.
Your cookie and cream ice cream is nowhere near their cooking. No. I think because you guys do like a slow.
We do that for a purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't want to be like taste the same, right? We want to create our own thing.
Yeah. So one, you might be looking at him and go, hey, this is not Mikey. This is not Mikey. This is Mikey's son, Rob. Rob, introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about you, how long you've been running the business and things like that.
Yeah, so I am Robert Bouvier. My dad started the business, Mikey. He is now a city council member, but he started the business in Idaho 15 years ago. It was more so a hobby of his that turned into this wonderful legacy that I now get to run with my wife. And but I personally started with the company. Obviously, my father started it, but I started working for him when I was in high school. He followed me to my soccer tournaments in our ice cream truck, and I worked there after my soccer games and just kind of figured out the business like that. But running it started in 2020.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to say, I want to believe you are the first guest on here, and I think I'm right, that you actually had parents that started a business. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's something that we talked about earlier in our episodes of podcasts is like, people that grew up with a parent that's a business owner, it's more likely for them to enter a business mindset versus like, oh yeah, I want to be a waitress. I'll do that for the rest of my life. Again, nothing against waitress. We say that all the time. And I know I joke at it, but it's not a joke.
No, everyone has what they want to do in life.
Exactly.
And I also think that watching my dad, he didn't start out as a business owner. He was in construction. I mean, he tried to go at college. He didn't do it fully. But then he went into construction, had me, and then, just put the whole family on his back and did construction, worked his way up to being a project manager. He started putting cones on the streets, and then he was a project manager by the time I was born, and all throughout I want to say till I was 15, he just put that grind in. He did 10-hour, 12-hour days of construction, and he's an amazing father. He's always been an amazing father. But if I were to take the ice cream father over the construction father, I take the ice cream father any day. One, because obviously the gift of having ice cream, but just how happy it made him. He wasn't truly happy doing construction. Yeah, it was something that put food on the table, but it wasn't a passion. It was
exactly.
And it was just that grind every day, and it wasn't something. I mean, he came home and put a smile on his face, but you could tell when I grew up, I could tell like, man, this guy's tired. He brought his homework with him. It's just like I could see it. And so
there's a different level to it for sure.
Right. Yeah. And so just to watch him do that, to go to that, to just the grind of running a business. I mean, it's still a grind, but it's something that he looked forward to. Yeah. It's something that was experimental. No one was telling him what to do. Yeah. And he really loves the legacy part of it too.
Yeah. It's cool because I just saw your dad Thursday at Hotel Gavez. My wife is a board member of CASA. Is that possible to say on podcast?
Yes, I can say that.
Okay.
I love CASA.
I hardly
so
ever
we were there.
And
I was kind of a little jelly because my wife was like, no, you can't wear jeans. You got to look nice. And then your dad pops up. He's wearing jeans. He's wearing like a sports coat. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I saw another guy like in sweatpants. And I'm like, what the? I mean, they probably were expensive sweatpants, but still nonetheless, he was wearing sweatpants.
With pockets. That's okay.
He did have pockets. And so, but I have a question for you. Okay. So seeing your dad hustle, grind it out as a construction, going into a small business, did that something that triggered you? Like, hey, I want to be a small business owner. I want to run the business. Or
Man, I will tell you that it wasn't a click, right? I didn't graduate high school and be like, yeah, Dan, I'm going to join the ice cream business. I was a teenager, so obviously I had the rebellion stages.
Of course.
I did some weird jobs. I definitely, as a teenager, you have to go through that growing period. I did college. I tried my go at college, and I think that I probably went too early. But I did get all of the knowledge that I needed to have.
Yeah.
And then I came home, and my dad said, all right, well, the agreement was to go to college and graduate, but since you came back, I'll put you at a scooper, and I'll teach you the business.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I learned so much more by starting as a scooper, right?
Wow.
Can you tell me what that is?
A scooper? Yeah. So a scooper is,
Is it
it's just an ice cream scooper. Yeah.
Okay.
I worked.
I don't know why, because I know you guys also make your own ice cream.
Right.
You mix your own
Okay.
flavors.
So
So in my head, I'm like, okay.
So I made ice cream and I scooped ice cream. My dad started me off at that because I've been making ice cream since I was 15. So I made ice cream and I was scooping it. And so that was really good for me.
Yeah.
I think that I learned that position. I know what it takes. And then he moved me to manager of the post office shop, and dealing with the struggles of being friends, because I was a scooper. And then now I'm the same age as those kids, right?
Yeah.
I'm a kid, they're kids. And learning that process,
Wow.
you know, the process of, I can still be friends with my employees,
yeah.
but there's a line. Like I was a scooper, now I'm your manager, and so learning that process, and then going to being head ice cream maker and just making ice cream, like that process was a good process, because now I got to learn inventory, I got to learn ordering, but I wouldn't change how my dad brought me up into this.
Yeah.
I can make great ice cream. And you
guys do. I mean, your Cookie Monster is my kid's favorite ice cream.
well, that's wonderful.
And as a Texan, it kind of breaks my heart because I want it to be Bluebell.
It's okay.
But they love Cookie Monster.
Hey, we're a
do.
Texas-based ice cream.
Yeah.
So
They
And
do.
it's okay.
That's the only reason that I
We're
love
just
you
that
guys.
next generation.
Yeah.
You're Bluebell. Your kids are
I'm
gonna be
old school for
Mikey's.
sure. But like it's cool because I went to the Bluebell factory a couple of years ago, a lot of years ago now, and it just made me love the place even more. And for my kids to come and walk on the island, walk into your shop and think this is their ice cream.
Yeah.
I love that for them.
Yeah.
I love that so much. We would even go to the Tech City one before the COVID hit.
Yeah.
We would go there. I'll pick the kids up from school and I'll drive over there and get them ice cream.
Oh, they love the cookies.
Yeah, they loved it, man. They just cook. I mean,
The
Cookie Monster all over the
blue
face.
ones, the Cookie
yeah,
Monster.
Cookie
Yeah.
Monster's
That's
the
the
blue
best
That's their one
pictures.
every
though.
single time.
Yeah, those are the greatest pictures.
And so they love it. Talking about COVID, how was that experience? Because I think you bought the ice cream company right before that, right? Is that what you said? How was that experience for you guys?
So yeah, I mean, we got through it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, just like everyone else, we didn't know what we could do. We didn't know. There was no game plan for anyone. So if anyone were to say, "Oh, we had a game plan for that situation," they were lying. Like they put it together that night, because there is no game plan for that situation. And so you really have to be a good problem solver. And I learned that that's something that you need in a business owner, is that
absolutely.
you have to have and that situation just
Think on your feet.
think
Like,
on your feet,
absolutely.
problem solving, being able to move on. It's just those things are key qualities. And COVID just brightened that.
Yeah.
My wife got me through COVID. I mean, I had anxiety. I dealt with the fact that we were thinking about having a kid. COVID just hit, and now we own a business, and that's it. She was a teacher, but then she was no longer a teacher and came full time with Hey Mikey's, and so it was like, okay, we have all of our eggs in this basket. Like, we have to make this work. And we did. And I think that we're a better business now because we had our feet to the fire and we didn't fail.
Yeah. It's almost like a really good benefit for you guys because your dad set it up pretty well. and then you guys take over.
Yeah.
And COVID like kind of like
Yeah. I mean,
so it's like that grind of like rebuilding the wheel a little bit that fits for you guys.
right. He created an amazing foundation, right?
Yeah.
With the community outreach that he did, the fact that there's not a single person that comes to Galveston and then that doesn't know Hey Mikey's.
Yeah.
And if they are in Galveston, they're going to hear about it.
Yeah. Oh,
for sure.
My dad did that.
Yeah.
And I think that because he did that and he made it a staple in Galveston, we made it.
I think too, when I think about Hey Mikey's, I always think about, I'm going to quote this business a lot, but Bluebell. Again, Bluebell went down and they recalled all their ice cream. I forget what year this was, but they recalled all their ice cream. And it almost seems like you guys capitalized on that so fast. Oh, yeah. And I just feel like that's something we talked about a couple episodes ago.
That's genius.
Yeah, like figure out when there's a struggle and how that can further your business. I think a lot of people saw COVID and this is going to ruin me. But there's a lot of people that are successful now that saw it as an opportunity. And I feel like you guys saw that as an opportunity for sure.
I mean, we now thrive in the winter because of Bluebell's mistake.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to phrase that. Yeah. But Bluebell's thing happened. And I will say that it has to happen with pace too, right? Like you have to be able to make those decisions and act on it and follow through with that. Because it wasn't an easy task to do. Because, they're obviously going to move past you, right? We got the calls from all the restaurants that, Bluebell's out. Do you have ice cream?
Yeah.
And we have to quickly say, yes, we can supply you ice cream. And here's the date that we can do that. Because we weren't legally allowed to supply ice cream unless we have the right licensing, packaging, all of that stuff. And so we weren't doing that
I remember
at that moment.
I think it was Mario's Pizza. It had a sign coming soon. Hey Mikey's.
Yeah, because that was the process of getting the Texas state license.
Wow. Yeah.
Getting the they have to test our milk mix. They have to test our ice cream. They have to come in and make sure our kitchen is. But all of those things needed to happen in like days because if the restaurants decide that we're not moving at the pace that they need it to, then they're going to buy Cisco and they're not going to think about. It's very hard to go and get that person that wanted you when they've already moved on, right? Yeah. It'd be easy if they never thought about us and then we already got the license and then I go out and sell it. Yeah. But if they thought about you and you failed to get them their ice cream, then now we seem unqualified. Yeah. And so,
it's kind of like you're jumping and you're just like, okay, yes, I can. And then figuring out what needs to happen to make it happen.
That's cool. Yeah. That's really interesting because we hear that a lot from, we just had the guy that painted Hotel Galvez, Juan, and he was talking about the same thing. Like he's painting water parks, and that just like fell on his lap. We talked to another photographer, and he's talking about he's doing a bunch of like tourists. People are just hitting him up all the time, and that just kind of like fell into his lap. These things just kind of fall into your lap. And I feel like as business owners, you have to be ready. Yeah. You can't be afraid and say, oh, no, this is not my thing. Like if it's completely out of your realm, then just say no. But if it's something that you can definitely do and it's going to further your business, it's one of those things that you have to say yes. It's a gamble for sure, but I think the payoff is huge.
Well, and also knowledge, like going out of your comfort zone, you learn new things. Mm-hmm. You learn if you get an offer from someone that you don't necessarily know, the field, but you don't know specifically that. I think that you can learn from that person and grow as an owner, as a hustler. Yeah.
And also knowledge is power. Yeah. Like when you understand and know what you're doing, when people come to you and ask you, you can say right off the sleeve what needs to happen. They look at you and they see you as a qualified person, like you were talking about. Absolutely. Looking back at 2020, what taking the business and then, oh my God, COVID, what would you say is like the biggest challenge that you overcame and how did you execute that?
The employees. It was more trying to figure out the moral way and the right way, and also trying to figure out how we can stay alive. Money wise, like I was weighing, how do I keep my employees safe, but then also like I need money. Yeah. And so it was, and then you get the employees that are sick, and you have 10 employees, and now that employee was in contact with 5 employees. And so now you're out half your team. and then the other 5 are scared to come into work. And so now you don't have a team.
Yeah.
Wow.
I say that from when I talked about it from the beginning, my wife and I, it grew our marriage, it grew our business, it taught us how to run the business because it was our first year.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It brought us closer. We worked 15 days in a row on spring break on 2020 because we literally there was no one else to work.
Yeah.
But after those 15 days, we had fun. We went on vacation. It was worth it. It was worth knowing that we can do it together by ourselves. We got through a spring break with maybe 6 employees, and those 6 employees were amazing. But we worked every day, and knowing that she can do that and I can do that, and employees are amazing, and I love them. But knowing that we can run the business if we need to
on those challenging
days by ourselves.
I feel like you guys pushed yourselves really to the limit.
Yeah.
What would you say would be the biggest thing that you learned about yourself then?
Biggest thing I learned about myself is that I have the capability of being patient.
That's
a good one. I think that a lot of us we have a limit, right? There's a limit that I can take, and then I'm over it. There's not. We can take more than what our emotions feel, right?
Yeah.
And I think COVID taught me that, of being patient, of employees saying, I don't feel comfortable working. Okay, that's your personal choice. I can't get upset at you about that. Is it frustrating? Yeah, it's very frustrating. But am I gonna yell at you? No. And in old Rob, probably 21, 22 Rob, when he was a manager, probably would have yelled at people and been mad and wouldn't have handled COVID well. Yeah. But 20, 25-year-old Rob, I think he did all right. And I think that learning through those 4 years was crucial to get to that moment.
Man, that's good. That's something that we my wife finally got me into TikTok. Yeah. And she was like, you need to make videos. And I was like, I don't know what to talk about. I know the stuff and I have a lot of knowledge in it. But at the same time, I'm like, everyone's saturated with YouTube on it. You just go Google there. Why look for me? But she just kept pounding me you got to do this. You got to do this. And I was like, the only thing that I know I can talk about that I appreciate is patience. People ask me all the time when I take photos or videos, how'd you get that shot? I was just patient.
Waited.
I waited there with my camera to my eye, and I just waited till I heard that smile. I waited till the light, and then I snapped away. And hopefully during that fire, it got that right photo. But it's just being patient. I gotta sit there and wait for that moment to happen, that all the lines line up. And when it does it comes out great, and people love when that happens. But they see it as a quick 10-second video or something like that. Man, it took me 20 minutes to sit there to wait for it. And I am not a patient person
no one
at all.
Those moments.
Yeah,
right?
it's something that you do.
You have to appreciate I know why I got that shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. I saw a quote by American Sniper. Who's that gentleman? Kyle. I can't not know.
I can't think of his name.
So he said in his book that the only thing that made the only difference between him and other snipers wasn't talent, it was patience. It was the fact that he could sit there and just stare down a lens and wait until something happened.
Wow.
And that taught me something. It was I'm not the talent. I didn't graduate college. I don't have all of that knowledge, but I can be patient and I can be understanding and I can learn. Yeah. And I think that I'd much rather be patient and understanding and learn than go through. I mean, I would love to have a degree, but but I think that learning and doing the life is just as good.
Yeah. If you're watching, you're thinking this is an excuse. Hey, the owner of Hey Mikey's doesn't have a degree.
Yeah, no.
No. Go get a degree. If you need one, get one.
If you need one.
Yeah. If it feels like it doesn't work out for you, put the hustle in and go do construction for a little bit. It'll humble you for sure.
Oh yeah.
Man, I just, there's a lot of things that the more and more I learn about your guys' business, as a family, now a dual family, because your parents and now you, there's a lot of things that I respect about it. And I mean, just the hustle you guys put into it, being a really small ice cream shop in Galveston. Now I feel like you guys are so big in the Galveston county. I don't know if you reach out to Houston yet, but I feel like and at least for Galveston County, your ice cream like stands that test.
Yeah, and I think it also speaks to the business that you guys are philanthropists as well.
Yeah.
I know that you guys have donated to several organizations serving victims of domestic violence and child abuse and so many things that if you're watching this for the first time, know that they are, if you're going there to get ice cream, they are giving money away to these organizations and they're so wonderful. So just FYI, but
well, we appreciate that recognition.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey's really, my dad drilled it into us at a very young age that his idea of the business is community. Like we want to be ingrained in the community, and like he believed that is a successful business, and he was right. I mean, he has ingrained us in the Galveston, and we're trying to do that to other locations and really digging into those locations. But I mean, with the Bouvier Foundation is my family's foundation that we are starting to do amazing things with that. But Hey Mikey's is going to always reach out and do things for the community because the community takes care of us. I mean, we're busy from January to December because of the locals. I mean, the locals come out and get ice cream when it's 32 degrees or they're better than I am.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there this weekend for Art Walk, and there was a line out the door. My kids wanted it, and so we were told we were going to downtown. They're like, "Oh, we want ice cream." I was like, "Cool." And so we waited.
Our kids,
you gotta want it on Art Walk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wait.
So a while back, I did promotional stuff for you guys. I shot a whole bunch of stuff for you guys, and my kids sat literally right here waiting for me to be done with whatever scoop of ice cream, and I just hand it to them.
There you go.
And they would eat it up, and
that's the greatest day for them.
Yeah, they had so much fun. My daughter came and helped me with the sprinkles. If you guys see the video on Instagram, whatever, she's the one dropping the sprinkles.
Great job.
And so she did a really good job. There's still sprinkles in this table somewhere. No, but we're walking down the street and we're about to go into it, and I saw this guy go in. He goes, "Nope," and walk out. And I was like, "It's okay. I'm going to wait." And sure enough, I walk in and there's a line of people waiting to get the ice cream. And your staff did just an amazing job. They didn't look stressed out. They didn't look they were worried. Every person that they said hi to was with a smile. And that just speaks volumes on you guys for sure.
Looking into like, okay, now COVID is over. We're start moving towards, a new beginning in a sorts or a sense. Like what do we have to look forward to with Hey Mikey's?
Yeah. So we are looking, I am currently trying to develop a ice cream team to make ice cream. So I have a wonderful ice cream maker, Amber, and she is my right-hand woman. She makes ice cream with me, and she handles all of the stress, and she's amazing. But we're trying to put an ice cream team together so that I can do a little bit more owner stuff. Just moving in that direction of trying to, expand the wholesale. So looking for that next restaurant. But in order to do that, I need to have some free time. And so just changing gears a little bit to having a steady ice cream team. So that way I can move and getting a delivery driver, delivery team as well. So that way I'm not making deliveries and making ice cream. Cause that's my week right now is that I make ice cream from Tuesday to Friday. And then I deliver on Wednesdays and Fridays. So my days are full, but looking to fill those team spots. So that way I can do the sales and
more of the development
and maybe find that next location for Hey Mikey's.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. We definitely look forward to that because I think that's a great thing. I know you have one more. Go ahead.
And I wanted to ask you also about like, we were talking earlier about like your father starting the business and now you're following and owning it and doing amazing. Like, how do you feel about that family legacy? Like, how are you feeling about that?
I will say that I probably have a chip on my shoulder just because he did so well. If anyone thinks about my father, they know that he's a goofy, amazing individual that you just want to talk to. And so my goal is to be remembered as he is. So I think that with a chip on my shoulder like that, I want to be a bright beacon for the community like he was, and it still is. Yeah. And so I think I can do that with multiple locations and be ingrained in multiple cities. Yeah. And I think that we can grow this business to a great length with the foundation that he's given me. But yeah, I think that with the legacy part, I think it's just, I got that little chip on my shoulder just to kind of show him that he did right by leaving it to me. Yeah. And also I have a son now, Carter. And so there's all sorts of different pressure. And I keep making the joke of like, I can't wait to put this kid to work. I'm going to make him scoop ice cream. And my wife, of course, is like, well, if he chooses, I'm like, no, he's scooping ice cream.
It's kind of like a basketball, like LeBron James telling his son, like, you're ready to play basketball. And his wife's like, what if he chooses it? Nah, he chooses it. I'm choosing it because I'm choosing it.
Mrs. James is like, well, if he doesn't want to play basketball, LeBron's like, nah, he's playing basketball.
He's 6'4". He's playing basketball, guys.
He's got my jeans.
I honestly, that's so encouraging for me. I know that in our first episodes, we were talking about family legacy and how we wanted our last name to mean something. And we're huge on generosity. Like we're huge. Our whole mindset is like, we want to earn more so we can give more. Right. And so it's so encouraging as new business owners who are looking into the future and saying, okay, these are all the ventures we want to take and we want to do this for our kids so that they can, move forward. It's so encouraging to see that have happen in your home and with your family and see the success of Hey Mikey's and how amazing you guys are.
And I know that my story is not like most, right? Like when you're a kid that's growing up in a family business, you're usually doing that because it's expected of you or you don't enjoy that, right? Yeah. I truly enjoy what I do. Yeah. I think that if the business is handed over in the right way and you're in the right mind frame to accept the gift that a business is, and you really do receive it as a gift. It's not a burden. It's a gift. And I think that if you think of it as a burden, it's not for you, right? Like if your parents are going to gift you a business or if you have to work for that business and you don't want to, or if you don't think of it as a gift, then you're right. Like it's probably something that you need to step away from and go find your gift or your dream. Yeah. But I think that if you think it as a burden or I have to do this because my dad gave it to me, like you're not in it for the right reasons and you're not going to stick it out. Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Because you're talking about right now, you're currently having a heavy load with making ice cream, delivering it, going home and dealing with a newborn, a newlywed family, more or less. You guys are under 5 years of marriage, right? So it's a newlywed type of thing. What are you doing to stay sound? What's your like, hey, I need this during my off days to be prepared for work, or I need to make sure I'm listening to this or reading this, or do you go to your dad and say, hey dad, what are some tips I need right now? Like what is one of the things you do?
I have amazing people around me. Like I have friends who don't judge me when I vent and don't say, hey, just take a breath. Like you're freaking out. Like they listen to what I'm saying. They know that I'm upset. Yeah. And then they just go, all right, what are you going to do about it? Like, we know that you're upset. You don't need to take a breath, but how are we going to make this into a positive? Yeah. Or I think that I need to probably get some exercises or get a routine of exercise in my day, because I think that I do have a lot of I don't have a lot of anxiety, but I do have like everyday anxieties that I think working out would definitely fix. Just getting a release that way. I love golf. I think golfing for me is that venting time for me to go with my boys and say, this is what I had to deal with today. And I know that they're not going to go out and say that to the people that I don't want them to say that to. And I really think that my church has grounded me and made sure that I know that this is a gift and that I'm looking for, and I'm doing this for a higher reason. Yeah. I think that all of those things, community, God, and my wife, all of those things. And if I added a workout, man, I'd be unstoppable.
There you go. You just got to find the time. I think that's a cool thing. Two things that I really just loved about just this conversation. One, just how you love your family legacy. And I think you're carrying that on proudly.
Yes.
I know it's early in the business for you, but I think it's a good foundation that you guys have. So I'm excited to see what you do in the next 10 years. And then also just the idea that you have a good people that surround you and support you. I think those are two things that we always talk about, just having a support group, because sometimes anxiety, mental health, all those things plays a factor. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready for this. All those things come up.
Or the people who would say, hey, Rose, I'm calling you on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Or you need supporting you. Yeah.
And when I do vent, I expect when something that shouldn't come out of my mouth, my friends do call me out on it. Like
that's good.
It's not yes people. I think that if you're surrounded by yes people, you're not going to go anywhere. Like
Exactly.
if you have a friend who you haven't fought with or haven't had a disagreement with, you need to get rid of that person, because that person isn't helping you. Like they're not giving you anything. You're not gaining anything in that relationship by just having a person that says you're right, because 50% of the time I'm not right. Right. Like the I'm not perfect. I'm not right. And everything that comes out of my mouth isn't right. And so if I have a friend that just says, everything you said is yes, then I'm not doing any better. And that person isn't helping me.
Yeah, exactly. That's good stuff. One, I want to say, if you haven't tried his ice cream, you really should. Great recommendation for my kids, the Cookie Monster.
There you go.
If it's in stock, you should try it. It's the blue one. It's great. It'll turn your mouth blue and your lips blue, but it's really good. Thank you for watching the episode. Make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, all the things that YouTube just loves for you to do. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.